These trees have done so well compared to other trees. They hardly die here. We raised them while planting them. I think they look so nice. I love them, and they're growing tall. They're taking time to grow, but they are growing. This tree has grown tall. When I was here in December, I trimmed the lower part because the leaves down there were not looking nice. They hadn't grown well. Some had chopped up, some had fallen. So I cut the ones below, the ones that were below, I cut them. And then now I'm seeing it now growing taller. I think it looks so nice. I can see that these red flowers had been planted around it, but I don't think this is a nice idea, because when we cut or mow the grass, sometimes it penetrates into these areas, and so they get cut easily. Let me remove this grass. I think that looks lovely. This tree, this variety of cypress doesn't seem to do so well. It's only that one which is doing so great, the one on the farthest end. But these others seem to either, when there is no water, and here I don't have anyone watering these plants consistently, I depend fully on rain. So sometimes they do not do so well. So when there is a long period of drought, you'll find that this brown and then when the rains come, some tend not to pick up, they just simply die, but others flourish back, and then the brown parts disappear. So this is another rose flower. I think it had already bloomed, and then the flower fell after some time, so these ones need a little bit of trimming here and there so that they pick up. This one looks healthy, doesn't have the black spots, a lot of them, apart from these places. Here we also have this one. I think it has started becoming yellow. When we bought this plant, I don't know if it is too much water, but it is looking okay. I love that it has picked up. It's not looking like it's dying. We just planted this recently because here we had a cypress like this, lemon cypress, but it died, it dried and died, and so I just replaced it with this one. I know this kind of plant normally give a lot of suckers, so my plan is that these suckers will be transferred to other different areas as time goes by. And if this plant does so well here, I'll just let it be. But if it doesn't do so well, I'll move it together with the soil to a different area. Here we have bits of bougainvillea. Here I had planted this entire place with bougainvillea, but the bougainvillea did not do so well. They died. Remember I've said that here we don't have consistent water. We depend on rain water to water our plants, and so because of that the bougainvilleas died. I replanted again. I replanted them, just small plants from the nursery, but even with that, still the only plants that survived were about 3. So we have this one, 2, and then one has intertwined over here with these plants. So I said I will not catch them, I will not prune them, rather I will just allow them be there, and then as the other plants grow they will intertwine with them, and then they'll just be producing their own flowers and blend with the flowers. So that's it. So I think so far the plants are not looking dull, they're picking up. It has been a long journey, planting, replanting. These ones too took a very long time to be in this size, so I can see they're still growing tall. The one who's taking care of them right now did not know that I needed these plants to go higher. So for some time he was chopping them below the ground, cutting them when they were still young. So when now he understood what I really wanted, now we're allowing them grow. I'm hoping by December they'll have grown taller, at least to cover this whole space. And that is what I'm intending to do with these other plants. Remember, this is a different variety, but I think they're the same kind of plant, but a different variety. As here you can see, we have the green one. So because some were dying, we kept on replacing. After some time, here the yellow ones were the ones now which are many, because now the green ones died. I kept on replacing with the yellow ones. But this other variety, if you can see, it's a mixture of both a dark green and some yellow in between the leaves. This one grows very fast. So because I need a very thick fence, I don't think if this variety would have done well. In fact, we planted even this variety here before we even planted this other one. But the rains, there was a day that the rains were too much, and then they were swept away by the rains. And so with that, I did not plant them again. I just opted to plant this thicker one, this smaller leafy variety. This one, I can't remember the name right now. So, but I know they are very common and they do not miss in any tree nurseries. So they're readily available. You can see another one survived here. So for the ones that survive, I tend not to pluck them because I know when they grow tall, I'll have that. I'll remember where I came from. So I leave them be. Maybe I can make patterns with them, or I'll just trim them with the rest. But in between there'll be those mix of different colors. So here too, because of this bottle brush, we didn't take care of them when they were younger. They grew and left a lot of gaps below them. Because I'm sure it wouldn't cover 100%, I do not want to see the other space and this other space. I'm hoping that these plants that we've grown here along the edge of the bottle brush will pick up, grow to the same length as the previous ones, and then with that I know it will have fully covered. But even if it doesn't cover, still I think when it comes to planting your spaces and arranging plants, I think you just do what suits your space. Don't think there is any formula. You just do what you necessarily need at that time. Here, another variety of cypress. I don't know the name. It's the same. This is the same as that variety, but those ones are green in color, while this one is having a little bit of blue, whitish kind of color to them. I'm hoping that the leaves will become many so that we don't see the branches. But however it chooses to grow, I think I'll be okay with. Initially, we had planted. There is this how travelers. We had planted the palm travelers, both sides, but they didn't pick up. They died because sometimes maybe it could be the rains, too much rains. Sometimes it could be they're drying, so they didn't do so well. We tried to salvage them for some time, and it was becoming a bit of headache. So it means that it needed someone to be here fully for them to do so well. And so because of that, they died after some time. And so I just said, let me place a plant like this variety, because those ones, this type of cypress do so well compared to the lemon cypress here. So I did not want again to plant the cypress lemons, just chose that variety to at least make the space not look so bare. And then here we have one of the first plants, these varieties that we planted. So this is the only one that survived, and that's why it's this tall. It has been given a little bit of trim here and there. That's why it's not really that tall, but it survived. And I said I'll not cut it. It will blend maybe with the Italian tree when it grows much later. If not, I'll just let it be, because some plants, I think, remind us of the journey we've taken until now. So as you can see, I think the Italians are doing so well. But before they became this height, they were very what? Short. They were not doing so well. But I'm proud of the years, the journey they have been here. I'm sure with time they will become taller. Yeah. But for now, I'm happy with what we have. Uh, so that is that. Here we are now coming to another part of where I'm trying to create a kind of a space. So here it's just the bottle brush. This bottle brush, we planted them when we just had no clue about what we were doing. But we knew here, of course, we're going to have a pathway. And that is why you can see this side we have bottle brush, and then this side we have nothing. So what we did first on this other side, we had planted these plants. And if you can see in my previous videos, you'll notice there was a farmhand I had that was trying to remove the weeds when the plants were here, but there were too many gaps in between them, and so I did not like that. And then when you just get into your compound, I felt that this place was looking lovely compared to this other side. So we decided to just put all the plants, the yellow ones, and then we just planted the bottle brush on this other side. So here, because there are too many weeds, I think this is something we need to work on so that the plants in between here do not die. So I'm hoping that this side too, the bottle brush will pick up, and I think now after some years we'll now have bottle brush on both sides. I think it takes time, patience, and so as you can see here, the bottle brush I think now have done well. So in between here we planted this red crop because there were so many, they had grown around the house, and I did not want them again. So I think what we decided on, or the one who planted them decided to at least add them. So I'll see how it looks as the years go by. I hope they look good. If they don't, then we'll still have to redo everything until everything looks nice. So that is it for this pathway leading us into the compound. So far I think the bottle brushes are looking okay. And if you can notice, this side we have a shadow in the morning. Remember, please note that the first time we planted, before we planted this red plant here, we had planted the plants on the other side, on this other side. I was hoping that the same way this side, that we have planted the bottle brush and the yellow, this kind of yellow plants, because I can't remember the names right now, just bear with me. We noticed that after some time, these yellow plants, when planted on this side, were not doing so well. They were dying because they weren't receiving enough sun. So what we did was that instead of having them on this other side, we decided to now plant them on the other side. So I haven't seen if they have been picking up. I have not been here for some time. And so the reason as to why I came was to just confirm the progress of everything so far. So in between here, we just divided here to have a walk-in. But in future, I think we'll expand this space because, as you can see, the path is not really, the space is not enough. So when you walk in here again, I planted some Italian trees. If I had ashok, I would have planted here ashok, but because ashoks are not readily found in our area, we just still went on and planted the Italian because they look good when they grow. And then here, there's this variety of rose flower, the smaller leaves, but its stalk seems to like coil and grow taller. So I went for this variety. It produces pinkish flowers. Then my intentions was that in future I'll maybe have a kind of a post on both sides, and then the rose flower will climb on this area. So on this side I can see these plants have picked up. I think they're receiving enough sun on this other side, and they're looking nice. Here I just planted this. I'm not sure how it grows, so we are waiting for it to grow. Then we will later now see where else we will need these plants. And then here, this was I don't know why I'm forgetting all these names as I'm making these videos. This was a tall tree, as you can see here, but we cut it. Now we cut it because it had grown so tall and so thin, and then after some time it was just not growing. So because of that, and I wanted to now start to work on this space, I just cut it, and then after some time I've seen that now we didn't cut up to we didn't remove the roots, but then I can see it's growing this, and so maybe we will see how it grows. If it becomes beautiful, we leave it. If it doesn't, maybe it now becomes more chaotic. We just have to uproot it. But for now, I think it will just stay there. This one is another tree that we had planted. Remember, other trees also died, but we were just working with what we have to just see what does well here, what does not do so well. So this one does well. But now my concern is that because the leaves fall, the leaves become how will I say it? They fall too much, I'm sure after some time this will not really look so well, because here we tried to plant the rhino grass, but because sometimes being here to uproot the other grass becomes difficult, we do not really, we're hoping that one day this grass will just grow, and then the other grass will not exist. But until then, we said let us leave this tree here for some time. But I'm sure as the years go by, we will have to uproot it. We had another one on that part, but I think it was already uprooted. But because this one grew so well, it was left to still continue growing. Yeah, so I think this one was used for cutting the bottle brush. So here again we planted bottle brush. I think bottle brush are best for these areas. I think they're one of the best fencing options. So that is why we also planted bottle brush on this side, hoping they grow. So the caiapas, these were the very first plants that we grew before we even planted any other plants. Now, just as one would wish to fence their whole space, these were the plants we felt would be the best, because they have needles, and they tend to grow into the other so well, and then the fence usually becomes very thick. But because some may die, like you see here, we have a space, another space, another space. They did not do so well, and so still you need to come up with creative ways to have other plants that can still cover the areas that you need them to be covered. Here we have beans growing here. I don't know why they were left to grow in here, but I think we'll not uproot them, we'll just let them be. I'm waiting to see how this tree will look once grown. Here we planted some cypress, which just cypress trees just grow, and then that's it. Yeah, another one that we're waiting for to grow. This is the corner. Some bluegrass tree. As you can see here, this has lost its leaves, maybe because of a prolonged kind of drought on this area. It rained recently, but it's looking, because of the branches do not look dry. I know as time goes by, it's going to grow well. So because it's not dry inside, I don't think it was affected. It will still grow well. So this was another one that we planted, just to be shaped, nothing much. Here we didn't want to have a whole fence of these plants. These ones I think will just be shaped depending on any kind of patterns that they can reveal as a plant. Here again, bottle brush grown just to cover these spaces. Also, we planted cypress. All the way up to the end, and so the trees grew, but spaces were still in between as we were trying to build this home. But so far the progress is looking nice. One day at a time. Yeah, a hibiscus plant. Algontic tree. These ones too are growing so thin. But the funny thing about this area, I've noticed that when we grow plants, more so trees, they take time before they grow. They really take time. But once they pick up and grow, they just grow so well. Here we also have this pine. It's called a pine. Just remember. So that also there, the one I just showed you before, was a pine tree. We planted two, but this one did so well, and so we left it. This one, but that other one was growing very thin, like this. The way these ones are growing, these ones. So it wasn't doing much, and so I just cut it because it wasn't looking so nice. And then it had these white patches. I don't know if here you can see. It had a lot of white patches, but because it wasn't doing so well, we just cut it, then we let it be. But I can see it's trying to grow, and so we will leave it. Maybe it will become a shrub, and that's it. But so far this space is looking neat. Yeah, and I know with time more plants will have grown. Maybe we'll have added more plants, we'll see. Or maybe it will just remain simple as it looks now. But so far I think the progress looks okay. Yeah, the grass is about to be grown on this area, so I'm hoping that will be done on the onset of the rains. So maybe now maybe the grass there will dry up, and so when you plant they will not really be a bother for the other plants. Yeah, so my goal is to just have a peaceful space. That's it, nothing much like the landscaping we see maybe that are so having a lot of plants here and there. But if we still achieve that, I think it will be nice. The thing is that just work with your space. That is what I think we've been doing. Coming, seeing what has done well, what hasn't done well. Then do we need it? Do we need to change that? So as time goes by, I think we've seen much progress, and I'm really proud of what I'm seeing. Of course, the grass too was planted bits by bits. This variety is different from the other and the other. So here we have 3 different types of varieties of grass to just see which does well compared to the others. So that's it. I think I'll end this video here. Hope you've learned 1 or 2 from what I've just displayed here. Yeah, so until next time, bye.